I put shows into 2 categories, like adults and not adults. I want you guys to take as much offense to this as you want. I put you guys in the adults category. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. 2 minutes. On vacation, I told Susan, no adults when I'm on vacation.
That's not good. I feel old, bro, so I'm not going to prove you wrong today.
You feel what? All grown up?
I feel old.
Were you up in the middle of the night wiping butt or something, or changing sheets that someone peed in? That shit'll age you quick.
Yes, that's right.
Where are you at right now, Sevan?
I'm in a hotel in Arizona.
Where in Arizona?
In Scottsdale.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe even going. To that Legends event today.
Yeah, we got a crew out there.
You do? Anyone I know? Grub is. Oh, he's not. Grub's not a Mayhem athlete anymore. He's trying to make his own coin. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
No, we got 3 coaches you link you up with, but I don't think you know them. You even know Mike, would he, Jake?
No, Mike McElroy. He's one of.
How about the dude who wears his shirt a little small, a little snug? Is that dude there?
Oh, Josh.
Yeah, you know. Don't act coy, Mr. Foster. Don't act coy.
I heard you ragging on that on a recent podcast. So.
I've gone from ragging to appreciating it. Just so you know, I appreciate it. I think I'm just jealous because I don't feel comfortable doing it.
The only time I've met you, you were ragging on me at the games
this year.
Yeah, you're basically just I forget what was he saying, Lockert? Like, we were basically like in Lockert's crew or something. It was like me and his brother.
Oh yeah, right.
Basically like his boys. So.
You're belittling him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel that there is a hierarchy at Mayhem in my own head, whether it's true or not. Like, you know what I mean? And then there's a bottom row down here. You're just being hazed. I have you down there, Mr. Foster, in the hazing.
I'm somewhere down there for sure.
Somewhere in the hazing crew.
Yeah. Lockert doesn't. Nobody really hazes out. I would say just Rich.
Yeah. It's really nice of you guys to put distinguishing name.
I didn't think about that.
All right,
put it on Foster and Lockert.
Foster, supposed to put Foster.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool because now you guys just fell into you lost a little bit of your adultness, so that's good. That's a good sign. God, I don't even know how am I going to spell it? Jake. How do you spell your last name? Jake Lockert.
How do you think you spell it?
LOCK-HEART.
I wish it was that. It would have been so much cooler. Locker with a T.
So is that it? Lockert?
Yeah, that a boy.
That is it?
Yeah.
Shit, my mom would be proud. Welcome to the show. Jake Lockert's been on the show before. Both guys from this is the part where my son says I act fake. Both of the gentlemen from the Mayhem Empire. Lockert paid me $500, Venmo'd my wife $500 to have Jake Foster on, and so here we are.
There you go. That makes me feel great.
Yeah. And Jake, you are Lockert. Refresh me what you do over there. You are basically the head programmer, for individuals. And you're the in-house Hunsucker for individuals and Hunsuckers for affiliates. Is that or no? What are you?
You talking to me, Lockert?
Yeah, Lockert.
Okay.
No, I'm title is president and then director of Mayhem Athlete. So oversee like all the verticals within Mayhem Athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Affiliate, which is Darren, competitor stuff, which I still mainly run with. Foster helps me now. Some others, everyday athlete. Those are the big buckets. Those 3, and now we have a 4th vertical this year. Really 2 more. 1 international Facundo languages, and then 5th Foster is the one-on-one, which we call Mayhem Performance Coaching, and Foster totally runs that.
Okay, hold on. Start at the beginning of the 5 verticals again. And by the way, now you've gone back to adult. Tell me the 5 verticals again.
Yeah, man, this is boring. I thought we were gonna have fun.
We are. We got to undress. We got to undress before we have fun.
Yeah, the base is competitor,
everyday
athlete, affiliate. Those are the 3 like subscriptions. There's also international, which is just languages. Package the same thing in different languages. And then the 5th one, big vertical now, is man performance coaching, which Foster leads that like that's his baby for sure. And it's one-on-one coaching. People sign up and they get a coach assigned to them. And, there's way more communication. It's all individualized and based on that client's needs, goals, wants in the CrossFit realm, but it's dialed in for that.
Which is very interesting. And we'll dig into it because there is this, I think this general assumption that if you go to Mayhem, you get your, programming 8 seconds before you do it, and then you just all do whatever Rich is doing, what he writes on the whiteboard, and that there isn't any actual coaching going on. And so this is great to have Jake on to kind of answer that, right? And that would kind of explain why a lot of people see Facundo. Not that this is true, but for the first 5 years I saw Facundo, I just thought he was an agent. I didn't even think he was a coach, right? And then you go and find out he's a veteran at coach at Monkey Camp, Power Monkey Camp, and at Mayhem. And Jake, that's interesting. So, but you do the programming also, right?
I write Compete, and me and Darren write Affiliate together. But we have feedback a lot, like Rich will some, and really Foster helps us a lot within that. Just having another set of trusted eyes, like when we build out a whole quarter or 3 or 4 months, like, hey, Foster, how do you think we should rotate this in and out? And he's helped us really improve our, I guess, system for that in a way.
Yeah.
Style, like we still do true Mayhem and that, but like giving us more really timeline and leeway further out in the future and creativity within how we rotate styles of workouts coming up for the season or off season. So you think you could do your job as president as well if you weren't also hands-on? Like I would do the behind the scenes every year, but like there's no other fucking chief marketing officers or media directors who had 100 people working for them who were running around like a ding dong, holding the camera, asking questions. You know what I mean? That was kind of unique to my position. And you're kind of like that too. You're wearing 2 hats at 2 different tiers, right? Yeah. In essence. Yeah. And we're still figuring some things out, how to best do it and learning as we grow. But sure, if I could clone myself, it'd be easier, but
right.
Or better in some ways. But that's why we have a team, and like Foster's been big with that. And then we have a great team, even outside of the people I've mentioned. So
because you have to change your view from the 10,000 foot view to the 50,000. To the 50,000 foot view every day. A lot of people can't do that. I know that sounds easy. A lot of people can't do scope and focus.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say I've totally figured it out by any means, but I do have to nitty gritty. What are we doing with this specific vertical Mayhem athlete? Then pull back out from Mayhem as a whole. What's the best thing to do? It helps some that Mayhem athlete's the base of a lot of everything we do. So it's all integrated that way. But it is wearing 2 hats at times. Like when we go talk to apparel with Dre or media, and it's all connected, but it's not the exact same.
Jake, are you the first performance coach in the history of the Mayhem Empire?
You're talking to me? Well, we might have to do Foster.
Sorry, Foster. Okay, Foster.
Yeah. We should,
I can do Lockert, Foster. Do people call you Foster? Hey, Foster.
Yeah,
I've been here with us.
I was a teacher for a few years, so it was Mr. Foster for a long time.
Mr. Foster.
Yeah, so I'm used to it. No, Foster's cool though.
Okay.
No, technically that would have been Facundo. Facundo was doing individual coaching. There was Mayhem ID. Individual coaching through Mayhem existed before I came there. Lockert would have to give you the exact timeline on that. I'm not fully sure, but Facundo was doing it before I got there.
And how did your paths cross with Mayhem?
Where
were you?
Yeah. Well, so I was actually coaching with, immediately before Mayhem, I was with Underdogs. So I was with Kotler and Kiefer and the crew over there. Jared, Jared Graybiel, he's been on a couple times. Jared's the one who brought me into the fold with Underdogs. Jared and I had known each other for a few years prior to that. And then I met Lockert at Legends last year, right? When Mayhem hosted Legends, and struck up a conversation with him, and then went from there.
So this event that's in Phoenix, this is the same event that was at Mayhem last year?
I believe so, right? Yeah. It's the same thing.
Oh, interesting. And where were you before Underdogs?
I was by myself. So I had Foster fitness coaching. I was just doing my own thing, which I still own a gym in Florida as well. It's a gym, Vital Fitness in Lakeland. I own it with 2 other guys. And then, I had that going I was coaching on my own and through the gym for maybe 5 or 6 years prior to starting with Underdogs. And Underdogs, I was never even like full time. I think the most I ever had was 10 individual athletes with Underdogs.
That's not full time?
No, not with because these weren't 10 individual games athletes. I mean, they kind of varied, the span of really open level athletes up through semifinal level athletes. I've never coached prior to Mayhem a games athlete.
So tell me the name of the gym in Florida again, in Lakeland, Florida.
Vital Fitness.
Vital.
Yeah.
Vital.
Like Vitality. Yeah.
Why weren't you guys? Were you guys?
Yeah.
Were you guys a CrossFit gym?
We were for the first maybe 2 years, and then we dropped the affiliate. It was like it may have only been a year into it. We always branded ourselves as Vital Fitness, and then we had to come up with the name, and every variation of CrossFit and Vital was taken. Like we tried Vitality, everything. So we were actually Parkway CrossFit for the first year. Our gym was right by like the Polk Parkway, and about a year in, we were, honestly, we're just like, I think a lot of other affiliates were like, what's the point? Like, we just don't even see the purpose of this. I'm not really sure what it's doing for us.
Of being affiliated.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, interesting. So after you de-affiliated after 2 years, did you notice any ripple in the business? Any change?
No.
Your clients weren't like showed up with pitchforks and were like, "Hey, motherfucker, we're not doing it." If it doesn't say CrossFit on there.
No, because to be honest, like from day one, a lot of like, and to this day, a lot of our members are not. A lot of them were not even familiar with CrossFit. I'll say this: like, we never hid from CrossFit. The other owner who's a head coach, like he has his level 2. Like we were CrossFit coaches. Like that was.
So you weren't haters. Like like some people are just haters. You weren't haters.
No, we were. I was a skeptic. I think.
Okay. Originally, you're going even further back.
Yeah, from day one.
But I mean, once we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, just in general, you didn't de-affiliate because you're like, fuck these guys, or you were just like, hey, just a business decision, not emotional.
Exactly. It was a Saturday morning meeting with the other 2 guys, and we're like, why are we paying? Like, this is literally doing nothing for us. And I know. I think part of it was probably like ignorance and not understanding the resources that CrossFit was providing for us. But I would almost say that that's kind of a shot on CrossFit for me not being aware of the resources they provided for us. So nothing changed in the business, nothing changed in the gym. Look back, and that was the right move.
Did he just have a stroke and fall off the chair? Did you get a booster, Lockert? You okay?
Probably his nicotine kicking in. Woo! Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
After they knock on the door.
It's a nicotine.
All right, Kara. I thought maybe that 5th booster you got was getting to you and you fell off the chair. Oh.
6 booster, you mean?
6 booster. Sorry, 6 booster. Hey, that's a really interesting. You're a really interesting data point for that, because in a way, because a lot of people are making that decision now. And they're not making the decision for any other reason that it's been brought to their front door. And I don't mean that in any negative way, but if all of our electricity rates went up, it would give us all a pause to be like, okay, should I switch to solar? You know what I mean? Like, I've been seeing those solar panels at Home Depot. Should I switch? Or, you know what I mean? Like, anytime someone tries to take money out of your wallet, everyone. So basically all, 13,000 gyms were put on notice recently that, hey, we're going to, there's going to be a change in how we reach into your wallet. Obviously, some in like the 6 gyms in Africa got their rates lowered, but for the majority. And so you were kind of ahead of your time.
It was partly pragmatic in the sense of like, hey, like, what's the point of paying this dollar amount? Because I see no pragmatic reason for it. And if somebody from HQ would have talked to me, I'm sure that they could have pitched me a strong argument for it, but I wasn't aware of that at the time. And then the second reason was, sounds fancy, but it was partly philosophical, like with fitness. Like I never fully drank the CrossFit Kool-Aid, I'll say. Like I loved and appreciated the sport from day one, but I don't know if I was ever fully convinced that CrossFit was the training methodology, the ideal training methodology for general fitness. And so there were parts of it that I was hesitant about, but never a CrossFit hater by any means. Like, I think CrossFit's done I mean, obviously way more good than anything. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to kind of leave you out there. Your story just out in the sticks is kind of just like and then I'm going to jump to the end of where we are today with Lockert, and then we'll go back and fill in the middle. So Lockert, why did you hire this guy? Did you interview this guy to hire him? Well, what happened at Mayhem that made you guys think you need another Facundo?
I mean, I think Facundo is one of a kind, but it was actually a year ago. Just look at the
calendar. Facundo, I don't know about that. I would not even put myself in that category.
Okay. What made you guys think that you guys needed, we need another performance coach? And when a performance coach is like the guys who are dealing with the guys who want to make a living doing it, right? Full-time trainers? No.
No, I would say Mayhem performance coaching is for anybody who wants to compete in the sport of CrossFit. So that could be local competitions in the open all the way up into, up to games athletes.
Okay. So, but people who want to commit a significant portion of their life.
Yeah, they're willing to make.
Like you don't play the flute casually. Like if you want to learn a musical instrument, like we've all seen the guy does it, right? Who picks up the guitar and in a month he's put it down, right? He thought he was going to play. If you want to learn an instrument, like you're going to have to like commit to it. You're going to have to change your lifestyle. There's going to be some like the hour a day you were scrolling, you're now fucking fiddling with your guitar, and you're going to have to do that for 3 years.
Yeah, that's why I use the word compete and not participate, right? Like there's many people who participate in competition, and then there's people who compete in competition.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I like that. And that's not a dig on people who participate. For some people, competition is a test.
Yeah. I mean, Lockert and I are participators now.
Like, okay.
Best. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, but we're looking to coach people who want to play to win the game, and again, that could be Karen soccer mom in a local competition. In the scale division, it doesn't have to be Guy trying to win the CrossFit Games.
Okay, so it can be someone who's just doing classes at CrossFit.
For sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The vast majority of people doing it are just that, like Guy and our elites are like.
I mean, it's less than it's over 90% of the clients that we have right now.
You could be a 3-on, 1-off, and just be taking that real seriously, just with strong intention that hour a day, getting your diet dialed, doing the taking care of your body, and in this and you could have interaction with Jake Foster.
Yeah, I would say the vast majority. Oh yeah, 100%. The vast majority of clients that I coach and that our other coaches coach. In a lot of ways, sometimes we're almost encouraging them to do a little less, like not try, like almost make less like it's always, I always kind of harp on this, like balancing goals and priorities. And that, you get a lot of people who want to be rich, of course, or they want to be Paige or they want to be Guy and, et cetera. And they'll make almost too many sacrifices. Like they'll give up too much time with their family or too much time in their career. And, a lot of times as coaches, we're helping navigate those conversations where we're like, what is that balance? Hey, you want to compete, you want to get better in the sport, but what are your life's biggest priorities? And how do we make sure that we can help you still compete at the highest level that you want to compete at within these boundaries you've set for yourself?
And Lockert, how did you find it? Why did you guys decide that was that position open, or and then you found him, or did they kind of come at the same time, or did you meet Foster and be like, we need this guy on the team? Tell me the story about this position, this performance coach, Mayhem performance coach.
Yeah, so a year ago, he was here at Legends. Like it was literally a year ago this weekend. And I think Foster was covering a couple of his Masters athletes. He just came over and introduced himself. And honestly, at first I was kind of annoyed because he like threw in the side mention, like, hey, you guys should think about like hiring me to coach. He really came and asked about Mayhem Mission, our nonprofit, because he was trying to figure out ways he could serve potentially. He lives in Franklin, just south of Nashville. It's like, hey, is there ways I could be involved with that? Where I'm at currently, I work at a gym there and trying to integrate with that. But he kind of offhand mentioned that. I was like, oh, this guy just wants a job. But we stayed in contact because Foster's persistent. And I mentioned like, hey, we're going to Wadapalooza in January. We're going to do like an athlete meetup. I was like, if you're down there, you should come. And Foster did actually change his flight to get on the same flight as us and go down a day early to like put his foot forward. So in January, that throughout all Wadapalooza, we really hung out a lot. And I interviewed him like, on the fly. The whole time was in essence kind of an interview. He worked out with us some. So then we got the weeds there about like his background, his, programming ability, coaching expertise, all those things. And he at the time, we were just Facundo coaches one-on-one clients, and he was, but like, you know, he's coaching elites. He was an international, so he had a lot on his plate. And Foster's like, hey, I think if we put in some things I've learned with my own business, we could really scale this at Mayhem and put out a great product and service. And so through that and looking at it, like his projections and what he wanted to do, I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense. And so we slowly brought him on, I guess, the next few months. And then through the summer, really ramped it up and brought it full on.
So he created his own position.
Yeah, kind of.
He showed you his value.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had the proof in the pudding in a lot of ways because he'd build it on his own. Just, you know, Jake Foster, and no offense, Foster, no one knows either of us except through Mayhem. But he had a successful business. He was like, hey, I just want to work for Mayhem because I believe in faith, family, fitness, service, you know, great people. And it's just a great environment. And obviously he like loves Rich, and we connected well. And so it was really, that's the reason he wanted to work at Mayhem. Foster can hop in. And because I knew he'd make Mayhem better. And I was really thinking more like in the next 5 years, we see the sport going to where like it used to be like everyone come work out with Rich and we throw down together, but that's not sustainable forever. And everyone's going to need their coach and individualized programming at some level. And so I saw that as a way for Mayhem to provide that to really any athlete that comes in the door through Mayhem performance coaching, along with a business vertical as well.
Is it hard bringing people in? Meaning, and I use this term really loosely, not like you guys are bank robbers or anything or drug dealers, but just how it affects the circle of trust. We've
been so fortunate in that, like Rich, the people that naturally came in were a great culture fit because, you know, they had to get like Rich had to like them and like trust them. And that was kind of the filter. And so now going forward, like we still have to vet and make sure they're good culture fit. But like I'm really protective of the culture. And so is, you know, Rich and Josh and Ro and everyone here, because I mean, culture is everything with any team. So we've been super fortunate that most everyone's been a great culture fit, but like we naturally, I think, attract the people that are going to be a good culture fit, you know what I mean? With like how we act and who we are, and we're outward facing with our values. So if you're not into that, you're probably not going to want to come to Mayhem anyways.
Right.
Not that you have to be diehard. You don't have to be a diehard Christian to be at Mayhem, not at all. Or like, you don't have to have a huge family or anything, but like those need to be things, I guess, that like you're respectful of, and you're just a good person to be around in general. And that's going to go a long way. So we haven't had like any huge problems with culture, but I think it's been because Rich has done a great vetting it. And now going forward, we're like protecting that.
Right. It's so crazy important that there's trust between people, because if they're not, everything slows down. Everything slows way down. Way down. It's no fun. And you kind of, sometimes that shit will come into an organization or into a group of friends and you won't notice it until it's gone, and you're like, holy shit, like, oh God, this feels so much better, right? Like you just threw a 50-pound weight off the back of your bag of cement. It was Jake. How is that, Foster? How is that? You get hired, and there's all these people there who are like long time, right? Like if you cut them, they bleed Mayhem, right? It's like, hey, this is where I put, metaphorically speaking, but this is where I put my bag down. That's the pull-up bar I use. Nope, that's my office, and those are my pencils. No, I speak to Jake Lockert when I.
No, I would say that's just not the culture that's there.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Tell me about showing. Do you live in Cookeville now?
No, I like Lockert was. I live in Franklin, so just south of Nashville. So I'm about
not yet.
Yeah, yeah.
You have kids, Foster? Do you have?
I have two. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh wow, you're in it. Okay.
Yeah,
you're like you are an adult. Okay.
Yeah, I'm adulting for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I've got the door locked, and my wife has got all the boys in like another room, and she had to like set out their clothes before they get ready for school so that they're not in here. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I moved my kid out of. I'm in a hotel room. I moved my kid to.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're with a family or how you're playing.
Yeah, I moved them to a different hotel room like 5 minutes before we went live. I'm like, all right, carry the.
You're all in, man. A room for yourself just for podcasting. Why are you working on vacation?
I don't do vacation.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't do. My life is not compartmentalized at all. Zero.
Oh, bro.
You don't do
Zero.
rest?
No. I do. I do rest. I do rest. Yeah, I do rest.
Yeah. You got a Sabbath, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah. I have a Jewish wife. Yes, I do something.
Well, then That's Manila.
We did forget the menorah at home though. And so like the Hanukkah's all fucked up.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for Christmas, doubling down on Christmas.
If your wife is Jewish, you know more about Sabbath than we do. To go back to so the culture. I mean, it's the cliche, but it truly was. It was easy. It was welcoming. I mean, there were no issues. I think obviously like there's like in any small business, there's going to be, like you said, trust, right? So it takes time to build trust, and I'm still in the process of that, right? Like,
right.
I'm thinking.
How long have you been there?
About a year now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get that. You don't get that in a year. So that just takes time to cultivate that. But there's very little territorial, like, this is my space, like you were describing. So, which made me want to be there more. I know, like for what CrossFit coach would not want to go? Well, I guess I can think of a few. But what coach would not want to go work for Mayhem? It's like,
hey, everyone wants to. You can't describe it. Those people are lying. You know what I mean? When there's a hot chick and there's one guy who's like, I don't think she's that hot. You're like, right. Dude. Like,
I see that.
Fucking A. She'd come over here and fucking grab you by your ear and take you away right now.
I remember calling my dad and being like just pumped and being like, dude, like I got this opportunity. Like, this is awesome. And my dad, just trying to like explain it to my dad, who's not plugged in the CrossFit world. And the way that I was able to explain it to him is like, Dad, it's like I was just coaching a high school football team, and like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just hired me to be their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And
I think that's how people view it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So on one hand, like super blessed, but on the other hand, there was some hesitancy too that Lockert knows about. Like I had my own business for so long, and I was so used to being, I'd work for other people. I was a school teacher for a few years, but I was used to having autonomy. And so also going to Mayhem was giving up that autonomy. And that it wasn't like an overnight, like, yeah, let's just like, fold things up and I'm all in. So that took a couple months for me too. But it wasn't that difficult of a decision.
And I'm guessing, I'm making this up, but I'm guessing that there's also a balance between being humble, but you also got to be really confident. Because if you're not confident, like you stepped into a corral with a bunch of fucking stallions, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like bucking and kicking, and like you can't take that away from these guys, all these alphas, but you have to participate in it, but yet be humble.
Yeah. No, I think it's I told a lot of my friends this like early on, when they're like, dude, you're at Mayhem, like this is crazy. It's like a 50-50. Like on one hand, you're like, man, I'm humbled by it. I'm like, like it's kind of, you get pinch me moments. Like,
yeah,
you get a text from Rich still, and you're like,
hell yeah,
there's Rich phoning on my phone. You're like,
hell yeah, I know.
A text from Lockert, and I'm like, what did I do? But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like Lockert's like, me and Foster. He texted me. He's like, "What? Let's have me and Foster on." I'm like, "Yes, sir." I'm like, "Wait, how did you do that, Matt?" He's like an adult. Hey, you know what? I seriously mean this. People think I'm joking. If Rich texts me, I wait a little while. I don't open that right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, I got a blue dot next to Rich's name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not reading that one while I'm driving. I'm gonna savor that. Maybe make a cup of coffee.
I think, yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not even joking. I'm like, fuck, I'm still soaking this fucking thing in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, on the other hand, like I had the other half of me was like, yeah, confident. Like I know I have something valuable. Like, and yeah, through years of time I've spent learning and growth and mentorship and spending a lot of money on, just developing myself, like in the sport and understanding strength and conditioning. I'm like, yeah, I belong here. I can hang. So, and it's a balance of those two things.
Dude, this is just silly, but I'm crazy relating to you on that too, because then when he comes on the show, I try not to show him any of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, I'm just gonna bang it out. I'm just gonna chop it up with this dude, like he's one of my homeboys from the 8th grade.
Well, Rich makes it easy though too. Like I mean, like from day one, I remember, a few months ago, Rich and we were in a group text with Independence, and I had given them a workout that he didn't like. And so then we started like this argument,
Independence is one of the affiliate teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we're going back and forth in the group text, and we're arguing. And I remember just like, I'm in the middle of this like argument about, a training piece and program design.
Yeah.
And probably like towards the end of it, I remember telling my wife, like, what am I doing? I'm like, going like freaking Rich, man. And I'm not backing down.
I
And
better tiptoe out of the room now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Rich respects it though. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, obviously respects humility, but you know, day one, and I respected this about Rich. The first day that we had a conversation, you know, he told me like the expectation I have for you is that you just always tell me the truth. And
he said that to you?
Yeah, you just be straight up with me. Tell
Wow.
me, give me your opinion, you know, tell me the truth and be straight up with me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
There's where there was something in here that I thought was funny in the notes. Shit, where is it? In the comments. I don't see it anymore. The best in the game, Corbin Bowen. Mayhem, the best in the game. Yeah, no doubt. Wait, there was something funny in here, I thought.
You know he's a member here, Sevan.
Who is?
Corbin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has been a few years. He was a college student, and Corbin's our boy. He's here.
Does he work with you, Foster?
No. I think he trains with Nick a lot, right? Lockert, Nick Azor.
Yeah, I think he does. That's Foster's client.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Athlete.
So day, what's your day look like? I don't mean like an actual day, but like what are some of your duties, Foster, at Mayhem? Like what are some of the things like that
you want to pull up the contract?
You're paid to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would say number one role is running Mayhem performance coaching, like and all that entails, which is, you know, helping, you know, lead and facilitate like the other coaches. And then, so you know, it's kind of like Lockert, right? I'm kind of living in two worlds. It's the business side of things with performance coaching. And then on the flip side, there's probably three worlds. It's Mayhem performance coaching myself, you know, cause I still have athletes that I coach. And then, which is probably, you know, that's one of my biggest passions. And then third would be assisting Lockert. And in our contract, there is like some, you know, language where it's like, I'm basically just Lockert's assistant. So,
right.
You know, helping, like you said, dip my toes in, Mayhem compete, like helping kind of plan out where we want to go with training cycles, chat with Darren a little bit about affiliate, kind of giving my 2 cents a little here and there whenever he wants it. Helping Kelsey with M30, a bunch of kind of miscellaneous stuff.
Tell me specifically, do you do programming for any of the verticals? Do you do programming for anybody?
Am I programming for individuals?
Just for anybody. Who do you program for? Who do you like? Is there someone who's training under your direct movement patterns, whatever you want to call trading?
Multiple people. Yeah. I saw. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Name names.
Oh yeah, sure. And what this? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out exactly who you're hands on with. Because here's what in my head, I'm still have you pigeonholed. Is that basically this is the story I'm telling myself. There's people like Haley Adams who were there, who weren't getting hands-on coaching, who wanted hands-on coaching, and that you came there to fulfill that role. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's in my head. That's what I have going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking to myself, you want to jump in here, Lockert? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true in a sense. I mean, it was a great timing on Foster's part because it was something we were going to need in the future and like natural fit as we were beginning to need it. But last April or May, like March, when we were like getting serious about it, I was like, all right, you're going to coach Seth Stovall. And maybe it was earlier.
That's the long-haired dude, right?
The kid. Yeah.
This
dude's.
I think that was January. It was like right out the gate.
Yeah, it was the beginning of the year. That's right. Because like Seth would respond well to this. I know he's going to be super fit either way. You can get him even fitter. And kind of like this was Foster's like test run with an athlete. And so Foster went all in with Seth, and like every workout's dialed in, like as a specific reason, and each training block, month, all that leading up to semifinal. So he built Seth's trust and was like, okay, Foster knows what he's doing. There's proof in the pudding. And then from there, I knew Foster, and along with other coaches we wanted to bring on, I would need him and others to coach games, individual athletes that would want to coach and kind of the direction we're going. So then he coached Seth through semifinals. And then after the games, I had some athletes I thought he might want to coach, and Foster can hop in whenever. But I think the next one was Guy, right?
Yeah, Guy actually reached out. Guy reached out to me about getting coaching, and then we started working together right after the games this year.
Bear, let me stop you here. What's that look like? two things specifically. What's that look like when he reaches out to you? And is there a chain of command? Is he supposed to reach out to you?
Actually, I was like, Foster would be a great coach for Guy. I was thinking this in August after.
Like between your ears, you were thinking that.
Yeah, I thought to my ears. I think I mentioned to Rich and maybe Foster and Guy. We were going to touch base in August because he didn't make the games. And I was like, hey, you want, like, we texted like, hey, let's meet up at the gym. And he was actually bringing up to me, hey, I want Foster coaching this season. I was like, great.
Wow.
Foster should be your coach this season.
What did Guy see that made him want Foster? What do you think he saw? Or what did he need and saw that connected?
I think that's what, if you're here, you'd see it. Foster, I'll brag on him. He does a great job of like truly going all in with his athletes. And that's what we want. Like, he'll meet with them every time he's here. He's here once a week. He's communicating through the week, and he explains to them, hey, this next 8 weeks, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. It's like, you know, we test your deadlift. Your deadlift is 40 pounds under the field average. So we got to work on that. And this is how many times it's going to be in there. And so when athletes see that, it creates a ton of buy-in because they know like every day is going to make them better towards getting the games or winning the games. And so I think Guy had seen that. And then like, he's just going to connect on a personal level as a friend with Foster as well. So that helps too. So, and Foster's for sure done that with him. Guy, yeah.
So literally, Seth would be working. He'd be with Seth, and Guy would be in the gym, so Guy could keep that relationship.
What do you mean?
Like he could see that relationship.
Yeah.
So at some point, he's like, "Fuck, I think maybe I might want some of that. I might want a relationship like that."
Yeah, well, I mean, I asked Guy early on, and then I think he said it on your podcast too. Is like Guy and I didn't interact a lot. Guy was kind of like in the corner, you know, doing his own thing a good bit when I was around for the first several months. So there weren't a ton of interactions. I think we had one, you know, more personal interaction, like talking about some of the story that he shared on your podcast. I think it was 4th of July. And, you know, we just had like a kind of a little mini heart to heart. But honestly, when he reached out, I was a little surprised because I was like, I haven't really, you know, there's not like this connection that I had with Guy prior to that, like where we had talked a lot. So
is he allowed to do that? Is there a pecking order? Is there not a pecking order? Is there a chain of command? Is there like people allowed? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Guy could reach out to me anytime for sure.
Yeah.
I think Guy wanted to check with me because it seemed like the best thing to do. And he's probably asking my advice. That's what he'd say. He's like, hey, I think he's praying about it a lot. He talked to his wife about it. Oh, his wife, Lou, also like had a good feeling about Foster. Foster just talked to her one day for like a few minutes, Foster, maybe.
Yeah.
So my wife checks off on it. That makes it obviously more attractive. So, but yeah, I mean, he could have reached out straight to Foster, but I think typically athletes would probably ask me just because I'm over a Mayhem athlete, and it's not like they have to, but it just makes sense in that order to kind of.
Well, and I'm the new guy still too at the time. You know, and I still am. You know, there's more trust now, but at the time, especially, it's like, well, hey, you know, I've had great interactions with this guy or whatever, but Lockert's, I mean, you know, they're all going to confide in him.
Let me go back to Seth Stovall. So just to understand this, so they're like, hey, you're going to coach Seth stoked, and then what exactly do? You meet with him once a week? Do you do his programming? You watch his numbers? You study him as an athlete? Yeah. And you're kind of like, you know, like I picture like a Dungeons and Dragons character. You're trying to move his numbers up.
Yeah, you know, it's the same thing I did for years prior to Mayhem, and it's the same thing I was doing with Underdogs athletes, and it's the same thing we're doing now with Mayhem performance coaching. Like, in the sense that, yeah, I mean, the way that I like morning chalk up at the games, they were like, give me like a one-liner for Mayhem performance coaching. I'm like, man, I haven't really thought of that, but I basically described it as holistic coaching for the sport of CrossFit. So, you know, more. Oh,
here, I got one for you. Ask me that question. Describe.
Yeah. Elevator pitch me Mayhem performance coaching.
Unvaccinated.
Yeah, that's true. That is true too, for me, at least. Yeah.
Sorry, I just couldn't resist. Sorry. It was because of who was asking too. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but it's what you said. It's training, nutrition, and, you know, I always say lifestyle coaching too as well, which is, you know, recovery. How's Seth managing his stress? Like, what are all the things that are occurring also outside the gym, like in his mind, external circumstances and factors that are going to impact his training? If
the temperature he keeps the van at.
No, I'm not that crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a balance. Like, I think you can get too in the weeds with some of that stuff and then actually create like a fragile mindset. You know, I think you have to still have a little.
or how about this? I have super high expectations of my kids, but at the same time, I have to make sure that their shit's accomplishable.
Yeah.
Or else they'll put a gap between me and them because they want to please me. So if you tell him like, hey, you can never have a drink for all 365 days, then he has to decide whether he's going to lie to you or let you down. And like, I don't want to set my kids up for that. I want to set the bar high.
Yeah.
But not so high that they have to lie to me or, you know what I mean? Or make their life miserable. Like I'm trying to figure out the best way. Everyone wants to be manipulated you're a manipulation coach.
Yeah.
It's kind of bought into like, hey, manipulate me to be a better person.
Yeah. It's kind of a dance, right? Like I don't have that fully figured out. And you got to be a bit of a chameleon too, right? Like understanding, each client, what makes them tick, how you can communicate with them effectively. And that's an area of opportunity that I still have a lot because I played college football. Like I was a jock and I responded best to just like, shut the F up, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my style. And I've had to learn a lot over the years. And honestly, what helped me the most was working at a local gym and not coaching athletes. Like my background was not with primarily with athletes. It was, teaching middle schoolers and then coaching, just gen pop clients who just wanted to lose weight and be healthy and, live long and prosper. So that taught me a lot about empathy and, that prepared me, I think, to be a more effective coach with these games athletes because, it really boils down to mindset. Like I think that's the biggest differentiator with a lot of these athletes. They're all gifted. They're all talented. They're all freakishly fit. Some of them have, they all have holes in their game, but at the end of the day, it's like belief and mindset around winning is what I think now is the biggest differentiator.
How many people have your phone? How many athletes can text you directly?
That's a great question. I almost
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I honestly try to get most of my athletes to, I use a different software, Telegram.
Oh, what's he doing, Lockert? He's doing a dance right now. What's he doing?
No, yeah, there's a couple athletes that text
What's he doing?
There's a couple athletes that text me directly.
How can you have more than 8? I don't want anyone to, too many people text me now. I'm pretty fucking like already like, private, like meaning I don't give people access to me outside of the show, and it's already like too many. Like I just want to talk to Matt Souza, and that's it. Like everyone else, leave me alone. You got something to say? Tell Matt, and he'll tell me.
I'll throw Foster on the bus on this one. Foster, if we had a pre-league performance review, probably one of the only negative thing would be reply to text. We went through his text messages at the games. Sevan, he's one of those that has like 50 blue messages on his phone. Yeah. And one of them was Rich. I was like, bro.
Oh, shit. Wait, so what did you get an audit on his phone? You're like, put your hands up in the air and hand me your phone. And you did an audit on his phone?
I was doing what you said, man. I was trying to just, be like, hey, I'll text you back when I feel like it. No, I'm just kidding. It gets bad. So I'm a hyper organized guy. I'm great with checking email every day. I use a different software for messages with most of my clients, and I'm really good with those systems. And then my phone, I just get like I have 100. I just looked. I have 102 texts, unread texts right now.
Yeah.
And I just get overwhelmed, and when I get overwhelmed with it, I'm just like, I'll just take it and like throw it in the chair, and I just won't pay attention to it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and
that's fair. I'm like,
I need to get better at that. So,
you would say Guy, Vic, Paige, Seth, like they can all text you and you'd reply for sure.
Yeah, we text probably at least every.
Who's Vic? Victor Hoffer?
Victoria Campos.
Oh, Victoria Campos.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still making a run at the games? How old is she?
She's 30, 31.
Does she speak,
Lockert. Yeah.
Does she speak good English?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have her on.
She's great.
Yeah, Vic's great.
Vic is the most chill athlete, like just laid back, hang out. She's just easygoing. So
I wanted one of my one of the listeners to mate with her and make a kid, but he found out that she doesn't go that way. She is not into dudes. That was a bad guess on my part. But man, she would make a great kid with someone. I guess she still can.
She could.
So you have who are your who has direct access to you? Like you're like
so through the athletes I coach at Mayhem that are games athletes: Seth Stovall, Guy, Paige, Vic, and then Dre Strong.
Oh, Dre. That's right.
That's the camera guy turned athlete.
Sevan, you got to have Dre on here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dude, you guys would.
You and
I
Dre.
was saying that to Dre the other day. Like, I was telling him I was coming on here, and like Dre would just be a blast to have.
You know, Dre won the games with Rich, Sevan. You know,
I didn't. Maybe I did.
19. He won with Rich, China, Tasia, and
Is he still Is he still in the media department also?
no, he runs apparel and he's our graphic.
Oh, that's right. I did know that. That.
He basically grew the Across the Mayhem channel for, I don't know, 5 years until Scott got here. So
this will make you want him on even more. What he told me when I said he should come on was that he probably shouldn't because he would get in trouble.
Oh yeah. I like that. That's good. You know me well. That's good.
Yeah.
Those people you mentioned, Campos, Page, Dre, Guy, and
Vic.
Seth.
Yeah.
Those you have a I don't know a very high level of demand on yourself that you put for them, intimacy, time commitment. Those are like your people.
Yeah, but man, there's still other athletes that I coach, open quarterfinal level athletes that I have just as good of a relationship with, and I talk to just as frequently.
Fuck, I don't know how you do that. I'm trying to wrap my head around how you do your job.
Systems, honestly, like just having great systems in place. And
organized, for sure.
There's this conventional wisdom that you shouldn't have ever more than 8 reports, I think.
Yeah.
Like, if you read a business book and it sounds like you have more than 8 reports. Like I can't do more than 6. Shit starts getting really weird. It's like, dude, I have to.
It's kind of like with your wife, right? And your spouse. If you don't commit time with people, if you don't have a scheduled time to date your wife, it's never going to happen. Your communication is going to suffer, Right. And if you just let life hit you, with kids, like it's never going to happen. You're going to be talking at 9:30 at night. And neither of you are going to want to do it. So I think what I'm good at and what I've learned over time from experience, I think teaching had a lot to do with it. It was just, it's disciplining times and putting systems together where it's like, I'm going to check my messages twice a day. I'm going to reach out to these people at least like once every other day. I'm never going to let them go like more than 2 to 3 days without just shooting them a text and being like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Right. And then I'm going to have a weekly check-in time with all of them where it's like, this is a formal time that we're going to sit down.
Okay. You are organized. Okay.
It's not the exact same as an employee. I mean, there's some parallels, but like a report to you within an organization as employees a little bit different than the one-on-one coaching client. That makes sense.
Maybe I'm trying to figure that out. Like, so there were like, when I was running the media department, there were specifically 4 people who could just walk into my office anytime. And then other than that, you if you had an issue, you should probably talk to one of those people and not me. Well, then, because if you come to me and are like, hey, our cameras are broken, I'm going to be like, hey, go talk to Tyson Oldroyd, and then I'm going to kind of hate you a little bit for coming in and interrupting me with that. You stepped out of the chain of command. So I kind of maybe I don't understand it because
20 clients can't come in his office at any time. They got to message him through a portal. He can respond at blocked out times, and then they know every week they get this amount of time with him on this day.
If you like, I can explain like a kind of a normal client through Mayhem Performance Coaching. Like, what is the communication cycle?
Yeah, come on, you need to get coached by us, Mayhem Performance Coaching.
Fuck that. I did CrossFit for I went to a CrossFit class and then I got fucking injured. That shit's dangerous.
Well, it's personalized to you.
Exactly. It's so dangerous. Intensity is fucking the death of all old men.
We'll just do rope climbs and assault bike.
Yes. Yes. I'm game. I love it.
Yeah, so we do like clients. What they get is it's a 24-hour response rate Monday through Friday from a coach, and then they do a bi-weekly
24-hour response rate, meaning if someone contacts you, you'll respond within 24 hours.
Well, Monday through Friday. Yep.
Okay.
Unless once a quarter, there's once a week that a coach gets a vacation. They got to let their clients know a certain amount of time ahead of time, but the program will always be written. They do a bi-weekly video consult with each client, and then like on the opposite weeks, we have a check-in, like a form that they fill out so that we can check in on everything. Like, again, that holistic approach. So how much you've been enjoying training. What are your struggles? Like, what are the wins that you've had this week? How's your nutrition been? How's your sleep been? There's even some like kind of social questions in there too about mood and whatnot. So we're getting a good gauge. Like there would never go like bare minimum a week that goes by, whether you're Karen, the soccer mom, like, open level athlete, all the way up to like a semifinal level games athlete, that you're not going to hear from your coach. Like I had a mentor, shout out Matt Connolly, tell me one time, like, and this was in, Gen Pop clients, he was saying like clients come for results, but they stay for relationship. And that's the business that we're in. We're in the business of building relationships. Like Sevan, like in the sport now, there's so many good coaches. Like a lot of people can write great programs, but it's like not everybody can build a good relationship. I think that's the differentiator.
Two things to that. I heard it said a little differently, but same thing. People don't leave jobs; they leave relationships.
Yeah.
And then basically also you wanted to work at Mayhem, you personally, because of the relationship. You wanted to have a relationship with your employer that you suspected people were having at Mayhem. The Mayhem employees had with their employer.
Yeah, I wanted to share and share the same worldview and ultimate purpose, that at the end of the day, like we're doing all this, we're building these programs, and we're coaching people, and we're talking about fitness so that we can glorify God and further His kingdom. Like I wanted to be part of that.
When did you tell Jake that last line, Lockert, that last line? Like how
Day
long
one.
into day one?
Yeah. I said, and
that's how he knew you wanted a job.
I honestly, day one at Legends, I like genuinely had no plan. It started as a joke, so Jared was with Underdogs, Jared Graybeal. And when I actually was talking with Lockert about Mayhem missions, and then Lockert asked me, he knew Jared was leaving Underdogs. And so he just asked me like, hey, now that Jared's leaving, does that change anything for you? And I said, not unless you want to hire me. And it was kind of like a ha ha ha. And then as soon as that came out of my mouth, of course I was like, well, that would be dope. And then I started pressing him on it and was like, hey, you guys need to build out individual coaching. Like this is a huge area of opportunity. And that's what started it all. So yeah, as soon as I said the joke, it was kind of like haha. And then in my head, I was like, oh yeah, this would be awesome.
Let's say I've purchased Mayhem programming. I don't know how that works exactly, but I go online and I pay the monthly fee and I start getting that programming. How do I know if I need a performance coach? Is the performance coach the next level? So let's say I've been doing Mayhem programming for 2 years, and I'm like, is that the next level to be like, okay, I want a performance coach?
Yeah, we have like Everyday Athlete, which is 5 of the programs, like, working out 30, 60 minutes, Everyday Hero, bodybuilding. That's $20 a month. Competitor is everything. Compete, program, man rope capacity, burger strength, like the package, you get all 10. It's $50.
But not Foster's phone number.
And then, correct. And performance coaching, his phone number. We're just in a launch right now. Ironically enough, we didn't plan it this way. It'll look like it, but that's $500 a month, and that's where we'll email.
Even though he's been there a year. Wait, he's been there a year, but it's just officially. It's been in beta. Now it's officially launching.
We launched.
Yeah, so the first one was in August. I was basically like what, Jake, like February, March is when I started kind of building it out and putting the systems together.
Yeah, it's on the website now, and then we'll like email out each launch internally. Hey guys, if you want to coach one-on-one, all the stuff we're telling you, reply, and we'll take your application in. And so we do a launch 3 or 4 times a year, and people get the communication that you can enroll now.
We've also kept it pretty low key. Like in August so on, we had 450 applications for one-on-one coaching. And, I think like for me, my, like really small business, local gym.
Sorry, say that again. In August, you had what?
450 applications
to get a Mayhem performance coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in what month did you have 450?
Technically in about 3 weeks in August, we had 450 come in, and then we actually stopped it. We had to shut it. We had to take the application off the website. And for me, I was going to say, like, my very small business background, like running a small gym, like local affiliate, and then just running my own individual coaching business. I remember, like, leading up to that launch, I was like, why are we not putting this on our Instagram? Why are we not talking? Like, I was at the games. I'm like, yo, Rich mentioned it on the podcast at the games. And they were like, if we do that, it's going to get crazy. And the whole time I'm like, open the floodgates. And then, it was just crazy to me that just through some emails, we had that many applications. So,
and you can't take them all.
No. And we're not taking them all too. There's a lot of people who come in and they don't have a desire to compete in the sport. And those aren't a good fit
for the performance coaching program.
Yeah. The whole idea is performance in the sport of CrossFit.
Damn that. So going back a little bit. So help me understand this. That is the next level. It's basically I guess you don't have to have already started with the Mayhem programming, but you want some hands-on interaction that would offer some like personal accountability and responsibility enforcement, or at least mirroring, that would keep you to prepare you so that you could go to competitions. You could participate at bare minimum in competitions.
It's what Justin
at a level that you're proud of based on your time commitment.
It's what all the other top coaches in the sport are doing for their athletes that you've had on, like Kotler and Kiefer, and it's basically just us saying, hey, if you want that.
Kind of. Yours is a little different though, because those guys, whether they say it or not, they're looking for placement. Like so for my kids, I'm not interested in. I need to keep them in the game. Once you have a kid one of my kids is injured doing jiu-jitsu, and I realized, hey, it no longer matters how good they are. He was out for 6 weeks. He got kicked in the stomach, and it made it so he didn't want to do it anymore. Fucked with his bladder or something. And so then I realized after that was a couple of years ago, all I need to do is we need to be in ritual, and I need them to be in the game. So you have people like that, right? That just need to be in the game at any means. But then there's other people that like their placement matters.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right. So there's that gambit, right? And like,
yeah. And that's what CrossFit did day one, right? Like think about it. It's such a unique sport that everyone, if you just simply have the desire to do it, you get to compete in the sport, whereas like in the NFL, it's like post college football, if you're not in the NFL, there's my pro leagues and stuff, but it's like you're out. Right?
You
like
can compete at the highest level. You could be a nobody and still pursue competing at the highest level, or with the people at the highest level. Yeah,
that's the beauty of the sport. It's also a slippery slope. Going back to what I was saying earlier, right, where you get people who give up life's biggest priorities, in order to be a part of that, and that's my opinion. I think there's a lot of people who probably have no business doing that, but on the other hand, you get a lot of people who'd find a good balance of saying like it's no different from a marathoner. Who's like, man, I get to, it's a very accessible sport. Running is very accessible for a dad, with a career to pick it up and do it on the side as a hobby. CrossFit's very much like that. And we coach, that's the vast majority of people we coach.
Do you have a drug policy? Like when you sign up, is it like, hey guys, we don't want anyone doing drugs that are USADA not approved?
That's a better question for technically we don't have them sign anything that says that, but the policy would be we're not going to coach you if you're doing any banned if you're I guess in taking any banned substance would be the right way.
So if you found if one of your athletes told you, hey, I'm doing XYZ and it's on the banned substance list, you'd be like, hey dude, you either got to quit or you can't be one of my athletes.
Yeah, either you discontinue or we're not going to coach you anymore.
Yeah, for
sure. Yeah, that's cheating. And that kind of conflicts with the culture of Mayhem.
It's cheating because why? Because there's this, because it's the rules of the sport.
Yeah, I think it's that simple.
Yeah. It's a weird spot. The longer and longer I'm in this kind of in this space of watching people compete or try to get the most out of their bodies, it's such a weird spot for me.
That would be one of my that's one of my biggest fears as performance coaching grows is that like how do we navigate that? Like how do you I mean there's really no way. It's like somebody can be doing it and we're coaching them remotely and we'll never know it and they'll never bring it up. And then, they pop and they're on the bigger stage. And that's something I've always worried about, but I don't know how you control that. I don't know, how you avoid it.
I recently was watching the Crash Crucible, a J.R. Howell's event.
Yeah.
And there were some athletes there that just did not look like the other athletes. Like they just completely they look like action figures compared to like some of the other guys. And some of the other guys are amazing, right? I mean, Colton Mertens was there. No one's questioning how hard he trains. And I know some of it's genetics, but then some of it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah,
dude, you look like you're made of fucking granite.
I just don't think aesthetic is not a good
metric.
indicator. Yeah. I mean,
because Guy looks like
he's a
right.
freak.
Right.
But
this guy the guy I'm talking about was even more. It becomes kind of like this angularness to them. Like they don't like Guy still looks like he can wipe his own butt.
That's true.
Like there becomes this like effect where you're like, hey, you can't wipe your butt, can you?
Yeah. I think, when you grow up playing sports too, like me playing football, you come across more genetic freaks, right? Because the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And so you become more accustomed to it. And so I think you're less skeptical because you're like, man, that dude, I know for a fact, like that's my bud. That's my best friend in high school. I remember like he just always had, 6-pack abs, bulging biceps, and he did nothing, and so I've seen those freaks and outliers exist.
And some men you see some men, especially men, are just built different. You're like, dude, my head looks nothing like your head. And you've always had that. And your dad has that. And your grandfather has that. You have a fucking cinder block as a head. Like you have something coursing through your veins that I don't.
Guy showed me a picture of his grandfather who was I don't want to mess. He was in the military. I don't know if it was like Brazilian military or what. And his grandpa was shredded.
Yeah.
Just like 6-pack abs, like just absolutely dieseled standing amongst these other guys. So,
dude, Brooke Ent's the same way. People accuse her all the time. She made this fucking video one time where she's in the kitchen with her mom, just this fucking old lady. She's like, "Mom, show your bicep." Her mom's like, isn't like any workout fucking. She pulls up her fucking arm and her arm is shredded and big, and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
like and I don't know with your kids though. I can already see which body parts my kids got from me and my wife. Like I can be like, that kid got fucking his wife's arms. That poor kid got my arms. That kid got my wife's feet. Ooh, that poor kid got my feet. You know what I mean?
I just hope they have her disposition. That's all.
Me too. My oldest son though, he's already fucked. It's gonna be a mess. Let's do a sharp pivot here. We have the two Jakes on Mayhem Empire. All right, Mayhem's great, and these are such good dudes. We after an hour and 2 minutes. When are they licensing the Mayhem name? And we'll set up Mayhem HQ to compete with CFHQ. Why can't I asked Rich yesterday? I'm like, hey, why can't I? I pay the $129 a month for affiliate programming or whatever you guys charge. Why can't I just put on the front of my gym Sevan's Mayhem Empire? Just a huge fucking sign. I'll pay an extra, $1,000 for that.
I mean, I guess if you paid enough, we would do it in theory.
Yeah, baby.
Good answer.
Yeah, baby.
What's that blank check willing to put on it?
Because you do get a sign, right? You can put up a sign, but most people put it inside their gym, right?
Yeah, we give them we give everyone a banner that says Mayhem affiliate banner, and we want them to put that up. But like the legality standpoint and risk of like licensing your name, then you get into a whole nother arena and the CrossFit's in, right? Like you have to pay to license that name. And then to do that, we would probably have to give you more value like CrossFit does to like, it's not a business we really want to get in because then we're truly competing against CrossFit in every way. If we
you could start off by making, what's funny is the model that I was thinking right off the bat is I would start my own affiliate program, Sevan Fit. But you still have to take your L1 to open a gym. But guess what? With my program, you get media. And you guys already have that.
I mean, but
you know what I mean? I think the single most thing that affiliates want is media.
Like how much media, what media, how often, and then what?
What do you mean by media? Most affiliates want media. What do you mean by that?
I think that if you add, like the affiliates that I interview, if there's two things they want from HQ: not fuck up the brand, which You know what I mean? Like, don't fuck up the brand. And then two, don't pussify it, right? Like we know that when you walk into fucking Walmart, that if the place is on fire, you can grab 2 people and run out before anyone else. Even the worst of us CrossFitters know that we can do that. And then the second thing is media. They want media. They want some sort of content being produced by the mothership constantly. They want the mothership to have a place on the world's second largest search engine, YouTube. That's what they want. Those are the two. I think those are the 2 main things. I steal the first one from Craig Howard. Hey, just don't fuck this up. You know what I mean? Like, don't do DEI shit. We're a company of merit and excellence, right? That's what we are. We're a science organization. We believe in measurable, repeatable shit. So stick to that, and then also make media. And I think Mayhem could kill that.
How much do you think they want? Like, not a rhetorical question. Like, in your experience and the conversations you've had with affiliate owners, how much do they want education?
Continued education?
Yeah.
I think that they want that a lot too. I think that they want to be affiliated with something that has a shitload of fucking integrity. That's what fucking Glassman brought. It was just like fucking singularly focused on the target at all times. You know what I mean? It was just like he did not fuck around. It was like,
yeah, you knew what ship you're getting on and where it's going.
Yeah, like it was singing. And so I just think that Mayhem is a company of values, I think. And I just think that I just think that people would fly the flag.
Bald eagle, American flag, Rich riding on a horse, right?
And just doing good shit for people. The day I met Rich, I thought, if Rich came out of 99 men come out of a brothel, we all know what they're doing in there. You see Rich come out of a brothel, no one would think someone would think, oh, he was in there helping people. Like, no one would think he's in there banging whores. That's how clean his shit is, right?
He's probably trained.
Yeah, right. He was in there, right? Yeah, returning some dumbbells he borrowed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just you know what you're getting, and I don't know. I don't know what the fucking insurance implications are, but outside of that, like, I don't think you have to add much more value to start with.
I've definitely, thought about that, obviously, just from people have asked for it and the name and what it could be, but we can only do so many things. And we're already. Or
do you have any concerns that would dilute the
name?
Yeah, dilute the like everyone knows now. Everyone has this vision of what Mayhem looks like. There's fucking 2 fucking locations. There's this fucking huge gym that's crazy community oriented, where there's guys in there who can beat Rich at open workouts, who are no names, and then there's the barn, right? And you know, and so it has that and a huge thing that's missing from HQ that there used to be in its origins is the destination. So when CrossFit Santa Cruz was there, dude, that was crazy, man. That was like the destination. You could do a pull-up on the pull-up bar that's in every video that Greg Amundsen uses. You know what I mean? You could use the rings that Nicole Carroll used in Nasty Girls. Like, it was and you guys have that. I mean, that's a huge mistake that we fucked up in 2010 or 11 or 9, whenever Greg sold the gym. That was a disaster. We lost the Mecca. You guys have a Mecca. You guys have a place to come visit. Look at Jake Lockert's getting all excited, but also bummed. He's like, oh God, I can't let this seed grow.
You're trying to pitch that we become a direct competitor to CrossFit.
Maybe it doesn't have to be a direct competitor. Like I said, you could still be like, hey, to be a part of our thing, you have to take the L1. You still have to be certified. You could like that would really fuck with their head. Then they wouldn't know how to fucking deal with you. That's what I was thinking too. That would really fuck with them. Is either a competitor or are they selling shit for us?
I think it's a possibility. It's just there's so many things within that. I'm not even I haven't worked out, and that's deciding what we want to do. And that's
exciting though, isn't it?
It is an exciting idea. I guess the awesome thing is you have as many Mayhem gyms as you want. And the scary thing, just like with CrossFit, as many crappy gyms as you want could put on Mayhem's name. How do you vet that and make it so like the integrity of Mayhem continues with each gym that would do it in theory?
Right.
So, yeah, I've thought about it before, but it's not something we're ready to right now. I mean, what did Rich say about it?
don't talk to those guys.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Talk to those guys. Bring it up to those guys.
I heard that. I listened to that this morning.
Talk to those guys. Bring it up to them.
Is this your way to start working with him, Sevan? Us launch this and you run the media portion for that?
No. You got the best fucking dude in the world doing media. Everyone's gonna look stupid next to Vandersloot. He's a fucking beast. I ain't fucking getting near that dude. What a stud he is. I did recommend though that that you guys started hunting. And Rich said it sounded like it's already in the works. I did recommend you guys start a hunting station separate from the Mayhem station.
Like station, like location?
No,
program you're saying. Yeah.
Different. There's not even a different program necessarily, but there should be a different Instagram, like Dave has. TDC hunts. Yeah, there should be an Instagram with guns and shooting, and there should be a YouTube page with guns and shooting, and 4-wheel drives and stuff like that.
Yep.
Dead bears. If one gets in the fucks with Rich and wants a piece.
That is all. Yeah, that's all in the pipeline.
Thanks, Sevy. Yeah, anytime, buddy. Thank you for bringing it up. Makes me feel better. Hold on, someone else in here gave me money to ask you a question.
Yeah, I'm ready for the hard hitters, Sevan. I thought we were gonna get some hard hitters. I don't know what they would be.
I thought we did them already.
Yeah.
That's how. Listen, when you are endowed like me, you have to be able to put it in without fucking disturbing it's lots of foreplay. You didn't even feel it. You didn't even feel the hard question.
Yeah, see, that's not fun. That's not fun though. I want to get on
You didn't even.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mayhem has most everything in place to create the CF competitor. The legend Rich. Yeah, I'm not even. Okay, I don't want to be a pussy, but I don't even see it as a competitor. They probably do. But the thing is like you're not trying. You wouldn't be competing with. You guys have values. You guys just stay focused on what you're doing. You just control what you're doing. So, so that's one of the big problems at HQ right now. They don't have their own voice, so they're worried about what everyone else is doing. You guys have your own voice. I'm not worried about what anyone else is doing because I have my own voice. And so you guys have your own voice. HQ's kind of rattled right now because they don't have a voice, and so they kind of worry what other people do. Everyone just focus on your own shit, and just the whole thing will grow together. You'll still be sending shitloads of people to the open. It may even increase open participation. It may even invigorate the gym space with Mayhem. Like you can I see it. I don't see it as a as a competitor. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. Broad base of all components need to next level corporate in August 2024. The best consultant to offer this help. Maybe this guy wants a job. You think that's really that guy's picture? Martin Graham?
I feel like that's a movie, maybe? I don't know.
He looks like he could be hired to hurt people.
Yeah, he looks like a Scottish mafia guy or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Scottish. I like that.
Yeah.
It's only not a competitor in fairy tale land. Yeah, maybe you're right, Will. Maybe I'm
I agree.
You're right.
Yeah, I have a tough time seeing that as a competitor. Not that it couldn't grow the pie because Pepsi makes Coke be better and everything. Everyone drinks more soda now, but
right.
I don't see navigating how it wouldn't be, but
when the Lockert, when the affiliate fees went up, do you guys have a meeting on that, or is that just something you guys just talk about? And is Rich over there doing fucking curls? And you're like, Jim, you cool? Rich, you cool paying that extra $1,500? He's like, good to go, buddy. Or is it more like Rory? Shit, cancel all meetings. Let everyone get in the office this morning. Sorry, what'd you say, Foster?
I was just saying that is kind of how a lot of conversations happen. That way.
I know Rich does curls. I know Rich puts that 100-pound dumbbell on his chest and does sit-ups with it. I've seen that shit. But what about that one in particular? Do you guys is there any special meeting for that? Do you and Rory have to take an expensive lunch break and
navigate that problem? No, we actually haven't talked about that one. I think more than they were, but we probably will next week. This week was kind of crazy.
And why would you talk about it? Because your time is money, and so if it was raised $70,000, you may have had the meeting already. But $1,500, you're like,
And
hey,
we're not
dude,
going to ourselves. It'd be more, what's the implications of this? And I think it's just independent to each gym, so it's not really. We're going to keep the name, and then we're going to keep doing what we're doing either way. If our gyms, Mayhem affiliates, drop the name, that's fine. We have plenty of gyms that aren't affiliated, and the majority of them still are. But either way, they can still be a Mayhem affiliate. So
someone sent me a DM saying, hey, I don't mind the expense. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my affiliate programming. The $129 a month I pay for affiliate programming, and I'm going to just use CAP, and I'm going to send that to HQ. So I guess in a way you guys already are competitors.
Yeah, with co-programming we are. I mean, yeah, we are, but they made it free, so that's even complicated in itself because we're not taking revenue from them. We're just, if people want a program that they think's better than us than the free CAP, then they would pay for a Mayhem affiliate because it's within their fees, like you're saying. I don't think a lot of gyms in that scenario though were like, what's the affiliate dues now? I didn't even. It
went up $1,500. Basically went up $125 a month, I think.
So it'd be $4,500 a year.
Yes.
I don't think a ton of affiliates are in the boat where like they're only going to keep Mayhem affiliate if they keep the difference in them keeping Mayhem affiliate programming not is whether they say affiliate with CrossFit. I think there's very few gyms in that scenario. Like it's going to make or break them.
I was making shitloads of money, more than $500,000 a year. And the second I lost my job, I canceled my Sirius XM. That was like my big cut.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people, that's usually fitness is the first thing to go for most people.
Got that Sirius XM.
Sirius XM. Yeah.
Martin Grimm, focus isn't to compete with CrossFit. Don't misunderstand. Focus is, what do you mean? What do you mean? Don't misunderstand. You wrote it in there as a direct competitor to CrossFit. You fucked it all up.
No,
I was trying to like, okay. Okay. Martin, he saved you. You and Lockert are on the same team. Don't misunderstand. Focus is to provide the ultimate fitness support for affiliates. Yeah, that's me. The name is just so strong. The Mayhem Empire and the logo and the values. But those three things, I mean, it's the what you guys stand for is like no one's saying that. Like, hey, I want to serve God.
Yeah, that's going to alienate a lot of people as well, though.
But you guys are comfortable with that in the sense that you're not doing it on purpose to alienate them. You guys are comfortable with your mission, right?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Like someone told me the other day, my podcast isn't professional. I was like, okay. It's how I want it. It's how I want it to be.
Yeah, if you don't decide what you stand on, right, in branding or anything in life, then you stand for nothing. So any strong brand in the world is going to stand for something really strongly and directly.
Right.
And now we're in the woke age, so everyone's trying to be everything, which is just weak. And
right.
So we stand for who we are and what we believe in. And us, it's faith, family, fitness, service. And faith is specifically, like Foster said, we love and honor Jesus, and he's the king. And you don't have to believe that exactly. Absolutely not. Like, we still want any and all gyms that believe whatever they believe, but like that's still the banner we stand under as an organization.
And for people like me who aren't Christian, that faith, family, service is like, that's huge to me. I do have faith. My family is the most important thing to me, and I believe in just crazy. I'm happiest when I'm serving.
Faith in what, Sevan? May have opened a can of worms there, but I had to ask.
I don't know, but I don't know, but I do have faith.
What do you want it to be? That makes sense.
You
could say, I wish I believed.
Not some dude who lives in a fucking ball of fire, fucking with horns. I don't want it to be in that.
Oh.
I don't want it to be like, hey, I'm done with my life. And he's like, good job. Welcome to the fucking oven. But I don't know. I'm very comfortable not knowing. Like very, 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 I'm at my strongest when I'm accept that my faith in the unknown. Like I'm strongest in that point. I feel most in line with the universe, with what I'm supposed to be doing. You know does that make sense?
No. Yeah.
Sounds like you're at peace with it, but it doesn't make sense in what you believe.
I accept. I really accept the unknown. I really accept the unknown. There was a fucking great example of it I was so proud of the other day. I was live on the air and I pulled up my Instagram and it said, your account's toast. Your account's been suspended. And I think that would have rocked a lot of people. But I have such faith in just like, in just things in my life happen the way they're supposed to happen.
So you believe,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we believe that we call it, you've heard the word sovereignty, like God's sovereignty. Like we believe he's ultimately good and in power. So when bad things happen like that, like God's still all in control and all powerful. So like in the end, it's going to work out for those that love him. Like that's what we believe. So
you have a story there that sort of, you have a narrative there or a story there that helps you through that. I feel like I don't have that. Or
better yet, we have a person.
A person. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
An entity.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when your kids, like he got hurt during jiu-jitsu, right? I don't know how it happened down, but he would be like, man, this sucks, but I love dad and dad's got my back. So either way, it's going to work out because dad's got me.
Yeah.
You can try to get through this. It'd be like that with us in life. It sounds like you have like, you believe it's going to be okay. And the universe makes sure things works out and like good will come from it. Even when bad things happen, like your Instagram getting toast. So you have faith and peace in that. We just get our peace and faith from a God who works those things out.
There's this part of me that this isn't exactly right. I don't know how to word it, so bear with me here. This isn't exactly honest what I'm saying to you, but I have an awareness of no thing.
I'm not tracking with awareness of no thing.
I know, because most people use the word nothing, and nothing means it's void. But there is, when I use a word, when I point at car, I'm denoting something, I'm signifying something, right? Like that's a car and that's a thing. Like, hey, and so there's this Taoist saying, naming is the origin of all particular things. So we name things, and they then become created individually outside of the whole. Foster, Lockert,
yeah,
Sevan. I have an awareness of no thing. And because of that, but I don't know what it is, because it's no thing.
So your faith is rooted in no thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like just my awareness of that, the existence of that is a bizarre phenomenon.
What's like, for your son, in the example that we've been using, like what hope do you have? No thing.
That he gets the ultimate hope is that he also was able to cultivate enough awareness to create awareness of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Thing like a entity, or it's just you just don't know, and it's
I just don't know. I don't know.
It causes a lot of people a lot of anxiety.
Oh, dude. There's whole books dedicated to the pointing at no thing. That's what Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now is. I'll give you one more example. So, and this is why it's so hard for people to understand. Eckhart Tolle will be like, "Hey, don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the future." And then someone will be like, "Well, how am I supposed to write things down in my calendar if I'm not supposed to be worried about the future?" He's, well, you do that in the present. You know what I mean? You write down what you're going to do in the future in the present. Or people will be like, you'll want to talk about something that happened in the past, and someone will say, "Don't dwell in the past." And they're totally misunderstanding, because I'm in the present telling you about the past. You can talk about the past if you stay in the present when you do it. You don't let yourself travel. So there's this, when you have an awareness of this no thing, those dichotomies or dualities all of a sudden start to make sense to you. There was a group of people. Let me one more example, because that one failed. There was this group of the Queen of England or something one time took 2 weeks off the fucking calendar, right? And people thought they lost 2 weeks of their life because they thought that thing, the calendar, was fucking real. But you don't lose 2 weeks if we throw the whole calendar away. We don't die. You know what I mean? Like if we just stop keeping track of months and days, we don't die.
I think your philosophy works well when things are going well, and then in the face of like calamity.
Oh yeah, but dude, I bet if there's an earthquake and I was trapped under this building, I'd be like, Jesus, I'm so sorry that I tried to not accept you when I was talking to the Jakes. Yeah, fuck that.
yeah, I think
100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's not
probably right.
It's like the scripture that talks about like you're building your house on the sand,
right?
Like it's not built on like firm, like a rock, like in a personhood, like we said, or a story or a narrative, like you said, but at least a story or a narrative that's rooted in logic, but also that it's built on a rock of like hope, like God's sovereignty, like Lockert mentioned.
I was filming these kids who it's filming this place where there was a famine, and I was just filming it, and there were kids who were basically dying, emaciated everywhere, and I all of a sudden I got overwhelmed, and I went to like behind this teepee, like their house. And I dropped to one knee and I started crying. I started talking to God. And I was like, holy, but it wasn't me, but I was kind of like watching it. It was fucking bizarre.
Why?
Why was it bizarre?
No, why were you talking to God? Like why?
Because I was seeing some horrible shit.
Yeah.
Seeing like some crazy, horrible shit that I was struggling to get my head wrapped around. I was getting some, what they probably call PTSD. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I ran back there to hey, I can't fucking help these people. I have no control here. So I was like turning to something just completely right.
Yeah. No, I think,
but I wasn't really doing it. I was kind of just watching myself do it. Like I couldn't even believe it. I was never like, boy, if I'm in a pinch, I'm going to drop to one knee and beg to God. Like I was fucking a grown ass man and I'm fucking holding the camera and I'm running somewhere so I can go talk to a God I've never talked to in my life that I don't even believe in.
You ever heard of C.S. Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should read more of C.S. Lewis. But he had a line, I'm going to butcher it, but he said something like, I believe in Christianity like I believe in the sun, not because I can look at it, but because by it I see everything else.
Wow.
So that's the way,
that's good.
That's the way I would describe our faith is that it makes sense of all of those like the things that you mentioned, all the pain, all the hardship, all the evil in the world. It has an answer for all that. And that's why it's rooted in it's built on our faith and our hope is built on a rock.
Good. Maybe I'm one step closer after this conversation.
Yeah, C.S. Lewis, man. You gotta read some C.S. Lewis.
One step closer.
Do you think I should read C.S. Lewis or read the Bible again?
Both. Bible for sure.
You read the Bible again?
I listened to it on audio. I've listened to it on audio a few times.
Oh, there you go.
I had it on cassette tape. I had a fucking 112 cassette tapes.
Shout out Jack, man. Jack's one of my clients.
Jack McCormick from Lockert and Foster's perspective. What are other games camps coaches' opinion on Mayhem?
I think there's probably mutual respect, I hope, among most of them. And then, I mean, there's for sure probably at least a few that just don't love Mayhem.
I'm trying to think if the only criticism that I've ever heard about Mayhem is that they don't actually do coaching.
I mean, in the past, people that show up to work out with Rich every day. I mean, it's not the typical. It wasn't typical like a coach is watching you all day and like giving feedback. You know what I mean? There would still be some coaching within that with just what happened in the barn amongst athletes and Rich. And then at the games, we would still provide coaches. But now it is getting more even standardized with coaching, like we talked about, man, performance coaching. So
it's a weird criticism, just like people would say Greg Glassman didn't know shit about business. Okay, but you know that thing spread faster than Starbucks and Subway combined in their prime, right? You know what I mean? You know that thing was on all 7 continents. They even had one in Antarctica. You know, he couldn't slow it down if he wanted to. So if someone says there's no coaching at Mayhem, then maybe the response would be like, yeah, well, what are they doing then? Because it's working. It's 57 athletes at the games last year. You know what I mean? Like it's almost said like it's an attack, like with the presupposition that coaching's the only way, but something's going on over there.
It was just I think that's an overly simplistic criticism.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like now it's just silly. It's like, because we have a whole staff of coaches, and there is, individual coaching it's just, you got to, that's like semantics, like define coaching at the time, like I think the criticism was probably geared towards there's not as much individualized one-on-one coaching at Mayhem, which was true at the time, right? Like there still was some, but it's like you're saying, Sevan, at the time, it was more of like a culture of excellence, and you're training with a goat every day. But now that criticism wouldn't hold any weight now at all.
My guest that's supposed to come on right now said, should I interrupt or hold off until you're done talking about God? I waved them off. I said, hold on, don't fuck with God. Don't fuck with the Jesus. What about? I wonder how much it costs to go to Burning Man. Burning Man tickets. I got this one more thing on it.
That's like the big party out in the desert, right?
Yeah. How much are tickets? 20 ticket FOMO sales, tickets and program. Fuck. $75 just to park your. The ticket 5,000 people can buy tickets at $225 a piece, and $75 to park your car. Okay, Jake, ready? I guess it is going to be a competitive CrossFit. Listen, if you got, all you have to do is let people put the Mayhem name on their gym, and then start your own open, and then actually just find a field somewhere outside of Cookeville and charge people $500 to come park their car there and participate in the whatever event, the top 10 finishers of the open. Keep it super simple of your open. You charge just a shitload of fucking money, not to make a shitload of money, but just to make sure it doesn't hurt you. Dude, can you imagine? People would pay $500 to go for the 3-day or 4-day camping trip. And you could just bring your tent, your RV, and go there. You like it, right? And it's like a Woodstock. You could have some religious shit going on too. Jake Foster could be up there with like I converted Sevan back in November of I'd like to tell you December of 8th of 2023.
Well, remember, God is sovereign. That's his role to play, not mine. So
I assisted God in his.
There it is.
Yeah. Accidentally on the Sevan podcast, I became a vehicle for the Lord, and
it sounds like this is something you really want,
dude. Are you kidding me?
Why? Yeah, why?
I don't really want. I just wanted. I want to be. I don't really want it.
Stir the pot.
I don't want to die and then just go. I want to know where I came from before I was born, and I want to know where I go when I die.
Oh, I was actually talking about Mayhem.
Yeah. I want God a little less than I want Mayhem to do it something. No, I just like exploring it. I like exploring it. It's maybe it would be good for CrossFit to have the competition. There's two. Either way, I don't think that this thing is going to change, and it's not going to be what it was, and it can't be what it was unless it has one owner. It just cannot, because a value-driven company has to just be owned by one person. That's just the way it is, and they have to be like unwavering, right? And so things have its life cycle, right? So how old is Rich right now?
36, I think.
Yeah, so let's say he lives to 86. We could have a new kind of version of CrossFit for 86 years, but that's kind of like still value driven. It's what the only person who's kind of doing it is Dana White. That's a publicly traded company, but he's fucking walking around with his middle finger in the air.
I mean, Elon Musk, right?
And Elon, but yeah.
Well, Elon's still majority owner.
Is he?
I know he owns like 17% or something, but I think it's still the majority. I don't know about Dana, if he's just a CEO. But I mean, what do you think, Sevan, in your mind? In my mind, the perfect scenario would have been some billionaire or multi-billionaire came in and bought it just because they loved CrossFit and like took care of it, like you're saying, like just stayed the course of like this is who CrossFit is, and like they didn't have to like take a check in the next 5 years.
Yeah, a shepherd.
that's almost like pie in the sky. Hopefully it could still happen. But outside of that, what do you think is the ideal scenario with CrossFit as it is stands in a real world, like going forward? Because everyone's like, something's changing. We don't really know what or what's going to look like or how, but what do you think would be a good outcome that could happen?
When you think of F45 or Orange Theory or Planet Fitness or all the other organizations out there, you think of them as places where people go to work out and get strong, and it's cool. You know what I mean? It awesome. Kudos to them. When you think of CrossFit under Greg Glassman, you thought of it as all that, but you also thought of it as a club and a community that, although he didn't maybe use those words values, but we had some really strong rules. We wore he talked to us about clothing and clothing design and shoe design. Like that was his idea. Minimalist. Clothes aren't going to make you faster or stronger. They're going to you want your shit to be out of the way. He talked to us about eating, what you need to fuel the temple that's going to worship your God. Right. And we were like, oh yeah. And people who followed those protocols, their lives were improving. And he had these different ways of pointing at the truth. And ways of so that you could point at the truth inside of yourself, like in ways you could point at the truth to talk to other people, right? Both mechanisms, right? And that's not going to happen. I don't think that any of that's going to happen under a company that's not that's publicly owned. I don't think that there'll be. I guess I'm having trouble explaining it, but the easy way out would be it's never going to have a visionary.
Yeah.
Publicly owned company does not have a visionary.
Yeah. It's CrossFit was almost operating like a church in a sense.
Yeah. Completely like a church. And it was a tithing, and Greg knew it. By the end, he was like, whoa, these are just loyalty payments people are paying me now. And that's why he's like, fuck, I need to figure out how I want to spend this money that helps them. So that's why he went to education, litigation, like making sure he was fighting shit off to help the gyms.
I agree with what you're saying, but still, now that we're in the scenario of
CrossFit, I think it just slowly keeps heading over to a fitness. It incrementally makes its way to becoming a fitness company. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like the next Planet Fitness, the next Curves, I think it's just slowly kicking and screaming, going that way.
Yeah, it's lost its like mission statement, values, whatever synonym you want to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Greg wanted people to live as long as they can and use their own discernment, right? He didn't care. He wanted you to be able to get at 90 years old to ride a Harley with your girlfriend on the back and keep your dick hard. He did not care what your LDLs were.
Do you think Greg lacked like checks and balances, like healthy structure, like any church, right? Like it's a slippery slope in any church where you have the lead pastor who is like, he's autonomous and he makes all the decisions. Whereas you have a pastor within a denomination, and then there's this board of elders, and then there's people overseeing.
No, he was so stubborn and focused on his mission. He didn't really need any. Maybe like, even though I didn't agree with his decisions, they were made based on his still like when he pivoted to like the old man on the couch shit. And when he started thinking that there was tension between maybe the games and the cure for the world's most vexing problem, I didn't agree with that. I thought the games could be manipulated and used to promote his message. But either way, he wasn't abusing his power or doing something that wasn't true to his mission at all times. You know what I mean? I don't think he was like, it wasn't the Hells Angels who started getting high on his own supply. He's like, fuck, I'm a fucking leader, started doing meth. Never like that.
Yeah, he was consistent at least. Yeah,
dude, he so believed in the mission, and he liked fighting the bad guys. That's why he was so good. He loved fighting the bad guys, dude. He's made for that shit. He's made to war. Like he is a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
With anything, with words, with guns, with physical, intellectual, he's made to fight. He's like, and he's fully equipped to do it.
Who would win?
Between Dave and no one could stand up to Greg in the he's got way too many tools. There's no, I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? Like he's really ready to go to intellectual battle with anyone. Yeah. And he's logical and philosophical. And you know what's interesting is he's zero spiritual. like zero. He thinks when you die, that's it. You're complete dust. Yeah.
But even though he's the center of all the, obviously beginning CrossFit, everything, right? He's the father of it. And later on with cutting the media, not just that, but amongst other decisions for the company, doesn't mean all the decisions were necessarily the right decisions, even if it was with the correct vision in mind.
Right.
Which eventually you make enough bad decisions. I think that was the whole thing with it. If you make enough bad decisions, even if in light of a good reasoning, then it'll still like crumble.
Right. But it wasn't going to crumble. Maybe it was going to change. Just think of this. I don't think it was going to crumble. I think if Greg would have, when the Floyd 19 thing happened, and the septum ring wearing blue haired people in the community started calling him a racist, and he said, "Fuck you, I'm not racist." I think if he would have stuck by that, he would have come out. The brand would be so strong right now. If he would have stuck, there'd be fucking 10,000 gyms, and the brand would be crazy strong. We would be like, holy shit! Because for the 3 years, you know what he would have been saying? That the cure for the pandemic is just to eat healthy and exercise. And there was nobody saying that. Nobody. People were scared to say that. I had my YouTube station pulled down for a week for saying that. And he would have screamed that from the mountaintops, and I think we would have come out. The brand would be so crazy strong. People would be so fucking loyal because he was anti-woke before we even knew what woke was, before the woke fucking tsunami came. And I just think that, I think it would be totally,
I agree that, if it had worked out and not made it through the 2 or 3 years on the other side, it would be stronger if it had made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have been giving he would have been just litigating. Where Rosa was doing hey, let's get lobbyists and make a deal with the government. Like he was doing that and like telling Craig Howard, hey, if you don't follow the rules of your local legislation, we're going to take away your country manager status. And Craig Howard's like, fuck you, then take away my country manager status. And they did. Greg wouldn't have been doing that. He'd have been suing the fuck out of the government. He'd have been suing the fuck out of every fucking county, taking all your affiliate fees and just blasting everyone. And ironically, all those people are winning now. The tide has shifted. All those people for the U.S. Air Force and the Army, they're getting their jobs back. The city employees who were fired in New York City are getting their jobs back. You know what I mean? And it's like we would have made it out the other side, and it would be dope. I think. You guys don't think so?
Well, remember, I de-affiliated before all that, so I just don't really. I was like that. That's over. So
yeah. But so that's that. Let me see if there's any other questions I have to ask you based on people paying me money. Do the big name athletes that have individual coaching pay $500 a month, or is their rate different? So like someone like Guy, since he's I don't know if that's a question you're allowed to answer, but
no, we have tiers of sponsorship, and so like a guy like Guy doesn't pay for coaching because he's
right. He brings so much value to the brand.
Something you get as an individual games athlete, if you're Mayhem, is you get a one-on-one coach as part of your.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete fucking sense.
Amongst other things, that's one of the most valuable things you get. So.
Can you spit on the floor in the gym if you're a games athlete?
Nope.
Does anyone spit in the gym?
I mean, Dan Bailey slobber be okay if it's like the full send workout, but outside of that, no.
No spit in the gym.
Culture.
I spit in my gym for the first time in my life the other day. I was doing a salt bike workout, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. I couldn't help it. I put it in a spot where I came back and cleaned it up.
We'd allow that. That's respectable.
But you can't just be hooking like green ones on, sticking them on the wall.
No loogies, yeah.
There's a big difference between the compete now versus 2018 to 2021. What happened to the old ways? Is it evolving to mesocycles? I don't even know I don't understand this question.
That's like saying compete probably. The mesocycle is just like structured programming, more like you did rowing last Monday, you're going to do rowing this next Monday and every Monday for the next 4 weeks and like that. Like it's very more predictable. It is different. We still are Mayhem in that the Metcons would look very similar. programming is an art and a science. I think that we're the best, in my opinion, at making it an art, and like it's just elegant and looks like it should. When you see a workout, it's like, oh, that's what it should look like. Like when you look at a painting, it's like that's just how it should look. But we're starting to incorporate more science since 2018, just with, we got the burgers now. So the strength's even different than then. Pamela helps with gymnastics, Henshaw with aerobic capacity, Foster's helping now. So we are doing more mesocycles and macrocycles like tied to those, I guess. But so to make it better, and then we infiltrate it with the art within each workout. That's, I guess, a short answer to his question. You'd have to see workouts then versus now a week to know what he's really saying, but it's just trying to make the product better than today. I would say, yeah, it's a little different, but still truly Mayhem, and it's just better.
Dude, Foster, look at those people's names that you're mentioned with. Isn't that cool? That's a good group. Pamela, Bergner, Henshaw. I mean, what a.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. Incredibly blessed. Yeah.
Sevan ignored my super chat. I was sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't think that's true. I missed it. Maybe I definitely didn't ignore. Ignore it means that I would like actively ignored it, right? Like I consciously did something. He says Sevan ignored my Sevi. Oh, you feel close to me. You called me Sevi. I would never ignore someone who called me Sevi. Will Brand said Mayhem is endemic, though. The name carries a ton of weight in CrossFit, not outside. I've never ran into someone who doesn't know the name CrossFit. Yeah, and hey, I think that maybe that's a good thing. I think maybe that's a good thing.
I think he's right. Yeah, I mean, I'd love if Mayhem was like a household name amongst anyone that worked out in any arena, but for now, it's mostly just you got to be in CrossFit to know what it is.
Yeah, that's tricky. Rich transcends that, though, in some ways, right? And that's who he's affiliated with. I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, my college roommate doesn't know anything about CrossFit. And, I told him I'm working for Mayhem. And he's like, what is that or who's that or whatever? And I said, you ever heard of Rich Froning? He's like, yeah, that's the Netflix documentary. And like that guy's like won the games a bunch and stuff, right? I was like, yep. He's like, yeah, that's why I joined a CrossFit gym several years ago. I did it for a year. So I think Rich transcends that, like his name. At least still does.
It's I don't know. Can't think of an actual example, but like if you're a golfer, everyone knows like what the most expensive golf shoes are.
I mean, I was about to say that if you're a golfer, you know what Titleist is for sure.
Right.
If you're not a golfer, you might not, but you know who Tiger Woods is. So
right.
A little bit.
So the amount of applications I'm even getting right now in this launch with Mayhem Performance Coaching with people who said like the reason I started CrossFit was because of Rich Froning. I mean, I saw it probably just 3 times last night in an application. Like Rich is the reason I started CrossFit. The guy who runs the local affiliate here, CrossFit Goose Creek, that I was a part of for a while. I mean, that like Rich was the reason that this guy found his salvation, like found the Lord and got into CrossFit, like both. So yeah. And maybe not the name Mayhem, but I think Rich Froning still does.
Yeah, I totally think that within our niche, it is the gold standard, and I think that's better.
Yeah,
I think that's better for the brand. It's like if you have a Rolls Royce, that Rolls Royce uses only these kind of wheels on their cars, and what that wheel brand is, but no one else does, and like. Fuck, they don't need to know. That's special for people who own Rolls Royces. So, yeah, and I do think I think the CrossFit brand is crazy strong still. I don't think like it doesn't. I don't think it matters what you think on the inside. No one on the outside. I don't think no one on the inside's like, oh, this shit's easy. Oh, this shit doesn't work. Like everyone still knows that. Holy fuck, this shit is hard. I'm the fittest dude in Walmart right now because I've been doing CrossFit for 6 months, and that's it. End of story. And everyone knows that. Like no one's surprised that Tyson Bagent fucking did CrossFit, and that he you know what I mean, and that he's a standout because of that. No one's surprised that he can walk further on his hands than anyone in the NFL. No one's surprised that he has such a good head on his shoulders because he's used to working hard.
He's a standout because of CrossFit in the NFL.
Well, I mean, not necessarily just because, but like no one's surprised. Like everyone in the CrossFit community, no one's surprised.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Like
Yeah,
we all know.
He sounds like a great kid, but he probably hasn't done CrossFit for a few years.
He probably what?
He probably hasn't used CrossFit as his primary training tool or
Well, he was just on the show the other day and he said he had 2 weeks off and he just came home and CrossFitted the whole time.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he said one time though too, like he hasn't done it in a while because like they wouldn't. I mean, yeah.
Like during the season. Yeah. Hey, and it's like that. Yeah. I think that's for a lot of people who are like specialists, right?
Tell Tyson we'll have him at Mayhem. I'll speak for Lockert.
Dude, I would love. I tried to get him and I scheduled him and Rich to be on the same show once.
Oh,
if it got all fucked up, I forget.
Dude, just tell him I want to run routes for him, man. Like we'll all catch passes.
Okay. Oh my God, that would be such a fun video.
A bunch of former high school, college athletes, man, that would love to just like act like we're back in our.
No, dude, just have him throw the ball at you guys as hard as he can.
Yeah,
just
bro,
hurting people.
Yeah.
I would love to see that, dude.
Fully padded. We can be full. We'll just have a full-on game on the turf there, man.
Full tackle. Sevan, you'll love this. In 2013, I think, or 14, after one Saturday workout session, it's like me, Rich, Darren, Donovan DeGreve, heard that name, some other OGs were in the town. And so we went to the intramural fields at Tennessee Tech and played a full-on tackle football game in like November.
Against Tennessee Tech?
No. Against each other.
Oh, how was it? Anyone get hurt?
Shockingly, no. But it got a little bit intense. It was fun. That's the last time I played tackle football.
Let's top it off with for Dan Bailey slobber. He's an amazing slobberer. Sevi has the most silent pauses ever. Legit, always think it froze when he does it. It's because I'm completely unprofessional.
It's dramatic effect.
I wish it was that. Hey, but you know what it is, Jake, Mr. Foster. That's my faith. That is a really strong sign of my faith. For me.
What's that? The silent pause?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, explain that.
I was at this. God, I really got to let this person come on the show for 5 minutes at least. But I was in Africa in the middle of fucking nowhere, like in the middle of nowhere, and I was at this Catholic, monastery, and it was there were these 10 black Catholic nuns who lived there. And before dinner, they said, "Sevan, will you pray?" And so I sat there, like 2 or 3 minutes pass. And she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm keeping the space and holding the peace so God can talk to you. He has something more important to say to you than I do." And they accused me quickly of being selfish for not sharing my prayer. And that's what I mean. I think silence is one of the most holiest spaces.
You just did it. That was good.
There's there's this saying in the Bible, and I don't know if this is true, but this is the way I remember it, where Jesus tells the apostles, he goes, "Hey, ding dongs, they're going to come for you. Do not prepare your defense. Open your mouth and let God speak through you." And so I actually think sometimes, not sometimes, every day before I come on the show, like I do a little prayer, like, "Hey, I hope I have the stillness today to let the truth speak through me, and not alter it, not bastardize it, not ruin it." Like, and that's kind of my faith. You know what I mean? That's how I know I have faith, because I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable being silent. Like I earned that. That wasn't easy. I wasn't born with that. I had to cultivate that space to be silent. Jake Chapman, word salads. I know, I suck.
That's a great skill. You know the story of Elijah in the Bible? You heard that one?
No, tell me.
It's the Old Testament. He's like prophet, and he's in a cave hiding, and God asked him what he's doing there. And then He's waiting for God to speak. And so it says, they tell him to go out and stand on the mountain before the Lord. And there's a great wind and like tore apart the mountain, but the Lord wasn't in the wind. There's an earthquake. The Lord wasn't in the earthquake. And then there's a fire. And the Lord was in the fire. So all this, natural disasters happened around him. After the fire came a low whisper after the fire. When he heard it, he wrapped his face. And then God said to him in the whisper, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And then that's where God spoke to him out of the whisper.
How come that went over my head?
The takeaway is, I agree with you in the silence there is where God speaks. And the story is like there's fire, there was wind, and there's an earthquake, and God wasn't speaking in any of them. But
okay, was not. Okay.
It was finally quiet, and then a whisper, God spoke to him, because the noise is not where God speaks often. Sometimes he does, but it can be in the whisper and silence as well.
Hey, I'm stoked you guys came on. I need 5 minutes to for the next guest before he has to take off. But listen, Jake, you don't need Mr. Foster. You don't need a chaperone next time you come on. It was nice of Lockert to bring you here.
Yeah, he's got to keep me in check, man. I can be a loose cannon myself. So
I look forward to seeing you guys in person soon, anytime. And you guys are always welcome on the show. Lockert, thanks for reaching out and helping organize this. I really appreciate it. And Foster, congratulations on your not new gig anymore, but you're a great dude. And I really enjoy having you guys on. It's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. I've listened to you working out for many years, so it was cool. It was a cool experience to be on here.
Cool. And anytime, dude, if there's stuff you want to talk about, just let me know, and we'll get you in. Yeah,
we can talk Jesus and fitness anytime you want, man.
Awesome. Cool.
Savon, you gotta come to Cookville.
Yeah. I know. I need to make a little more money on buy a motorhome and come out there, take my kids around.
Okay. Love it. We wait.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
ciao.
God, you are a roller coaster.
Okay. we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Something really fun is going to happen tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes. Get with the programming. We'll have Bill Grundler, who is a loose fucking cannon, and Chase Ingram, who is a sure shot, a sniper. The two come together and make the great show. Get with the programming. Tonight's show will be a little different. There will be a variety of guests coming on the show in 15-minute increments. And Chase, you have 2 minutes to tell us why we have to watch tonight's show at 6 p.m.
All right. Thank you for my 2 minutes. Yep. I appreciate it.
I told Chase to come on 30 minutes ago. He's like, dude, you want me to interrupt the Jesus talk? I'm like, nah, you better not.
I was like, this seems kind of heavy. Do you want me to come in here and just like derail the whole conversation?
Yeah.
Which was a great conversation, by the way. I really did enjoy that. But all right, elevator pitch of what we got going on. Since you are out of town and you usually do your Cross the Games update show, we did a podcast 3 weeks ago where I laid out a season structure that would make the Open more important, more engaging, more exciting for athletes and fans alike, and the quarterfinals of how the Open and quarterfinals is or should be or could be the only way you determine the strength of field for semifinals only. So it's not affecting the worldwide rankings. It's affecting on how the semifinals top 100 is decided and then how they allocate extra game spots like they did last year. And we said it'd be exciting because you could do a weekly show every week of the Open. Here's the new top 100. Here are the 100 spots allocated through 7 semifinals. And then here are the game spots based off these top 100 every single week. It'd be super exciting. It would make the athletes focus on their Open performance more, because if they do poorly, their semifinal will get less spots because of that. It's real-time strength of field calculations. So we're going to basically take all of 2023 and make actual shows of what it could possibly look like for 2024 if you use this system. So we have a segment on week 1 of the Open, what that looks like, week 2, week 3, and we're going to show how the spots change week to week during the Open. And then we're going to shift to quarterfinals, and quarterfinals have 3 submission windows, 2 events day 1 or submission 1, 2 events submission 2, and the final event for submission 3. And then we're going to take your Open and quarterfinals worldwide ranking, because it's ranked against the world with everybody, and design a top 100 strength of field, and then show what those games allocated spots would look like if they only use the Open and quarterfinals as a way to determine the strength of field. And at the very end, we've got a good twist. So I hope everybody watches. We got a good twist because I believe the strength of field should be the athletes that are actually participating in person in individual competition. Last year, they had athletes who were either out of competition, on team, or going masters as part of the strength of field. And I don't think that should be part of the case. So we have a little twist at the end of taking all those athletes out and recalculating it and showing you the difference between those game spots allocations.
So let me see if I understand it. You're going to take the existing framework,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But tweak it so it could still be implemented right now.
Mhm.
And basically, you're going to run a mock 2023 season.
Yes.
That shows how things would be changing week to week dynamically based on people's performances, but
Yes.
still within the same system,
Exactly.
adding tons of more stress and uncertainty.
Yeah.
Which is the greatest thing that we like as fans. Basically,
Exactly.
we want the score to be 27-27 with 2 minutes left in the football game.
And here's my favorite part.
And you like interceptions and fumbles. Everyone wants, even though you hate them, that's what makes the games you remember. Oh my God, with 3 seconds left, they fumbled and the guy ran it back. And
at the end of the day,
be done.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the team you knew was going to win could still win, but the drama it took to get there was worth the entertainment of 4 hours to get there. Now it's got to be a 4-hour show, but what we stumbled upon that was really exciting is that the open and quarters will be weighted evenly. So your performance in the open and quarterfinals will be averaged to make a top 100. So if you're 30th in the world in the open and 10th in the world in the quarterfinals, we're going to rank you based off that average finish place to determine the strength of field. But here's the things that I love the most. After the open, you can look at, and this is what we actually saw, is that we're going to pull up the 95 to 100 and 101 to 105 cut line of outside the top 100. And we found one, it was really sweet. It was like, I think it was after submission 2. So going into the final week of the quarterfinals. So there's one more opportunity to move athletes. Mm-hmm. South America had 2 game spots allocated, but had 4 athletes within 15 spots of the top 100. And so what we say is these 5 athletes by name, if they do this and get into the top 100 after this final event in quarterfinals, South American men will get one more spot. Like those,
there's something on the line every workout.
Exactly.
Every workout, there's something actually on the line. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to basically take all the things that happened in 2023 and show you what that engagement, drama, and excitement could be on a week-to-week basis. And it'll be some theater, to say the least. So,
yeah, good. I fucking love it. 6 p.m.
Pacific
Standard Time. The YouTube station is Get With the Programming.
Yeah.
Get With the Programming.
Yep. And if anybody wants a preview of what our system is, we did a podcast. It's called Making the Open Matter Again. It's on our YouTube channel. It's just an hour long. I suggest you guys go watch that and get an idea of exactly what we are going to do in the show tonight.
Okay. And that's up already.
And that's already up there. Yep.
Okay. I'll be getting my Making the Open a Matter Again hat very shortly.
Yes. But,
all right, brother. Thank you so much.
I got 4 hours of affiliate calls to jump to. So thank you.
Awesome.
For my 5 minutes.
Enjoy. Do the work.
Appreciate it.
Later, brother. Chase Ingham. Affiliate rep. God, CrossFit Games update show. I so want to do it, but I'm in man, there's so many things I want to do. I want to go to the Masters. I want to go to Legends today if I can. I want to go by there with Greg if I can. If we can. I want to say hi to some friends. Say hi to Jamie Latimer. At 11 a.m. I want to my kids have a skate lesson at KTR in Arizona. So that's a big, huge indoor skate facility. I want to go there and watch my boys tear it up. Then at 5 p.m. they're doing jiu-jitsu here in Scottsdale. It was funny because my kids said to me, they're like, "Aren't we on vacation?" I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. We don't do vacation. Please. We're different. We don't play by the rules. The parsoning, compartmentalizing of life. We're consistent. It's funny. Yesterday, I told my kid I was taking him to a jiu-jitsu. He goes, I don't want to go. I'm like, I understand. And then like 20 minutes later, he came up to me and goes, but we're going to go, right? I'm like, no, not the guy, the class got canceled. And he was bummed. He's like, oh, that sucks. I wanted to ask him so bad, why'd you say you didn't want to go? But I didn't. I did, like, I ain't giving that energy. I know what you want. I know what you want better than you know what you want. Yes, thank you, Heidi. Exactly. Vacation from what? A perfectly charmed dream life? Yeah. Here's the link to the Make the Open Great Again show. This entire show is based off of tonight's show is based off of this. I wonder if you got how would you even click that link? Can I copy and paste that? Oh, this is an interesting idea. Any idea, Jake Chapman, any ideas of a CrossFit theme for a small piece of a tattoo without the name CrossFit? Oh, you can click that? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I can't click that. I wonder if all 324 people click that at once if they vanish. Dude, these live shows are fucking huge. Dude, I'm in a hotel. How come you guys, this many people don't watch when I'm at home? What the fuck's going on? All these people come from. All right, let me see who's on tomorrow before I go. I don't know if I'm doing the CrossFit Games Update show. I want to. I just don't know when I would do it. What I really want to talk to you guys about is Dawn's interview on the Lone Ranger podcast. It's crazy. I got so many crazy notes on that. Oh shit! Tomorrow we have Tom McCoy. Oh, so CrossFit is doing a health summit, and one of the speakers is Tom McCoy, and he'll be on tomorrow. I think the health summit's in February. Suze's talked about it. Karen Thompson was on the show talking about it, and it's a health summit in Austin. And so Tom McCoy, one of the speakers, will be on tomorrow. I always like that. We can ask him. He's a doctor. We can ask him questions about erectile dysfunction and shit like that. You're much hotter in the beach lighting. Who, me? Than this Arizona lighting? Someone said yesterday I look old as shit. My wife said I look good. Let me go with my wife. All right. That's it, I think. Oh, yeah. You don't like it? What if I How about that? How about that? Now how's that? Better? Not so close. You don't have to see every pore. You guys are fun. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know. What's up, David? How you doing, buddy? All right. Time to call Susan. Bye-bye.